set at the car. I actually received this for Christmas last year, I think.
This is not going well for me. There's dust on the top of it. That said though, I think Cheyenne's gonna hate me, so... Hello lovely bookworms, I'm Esmay from Paradise Pages on Instagram and also on Twitter, and welcome to a new video. In today's video I'm gonna be doing something, I think it's gonna be very bad for me, because last year around this time, I'll link it down below, I have filmed a video of 22 books I want to read in 2022, and I thought it would be a fun idea to look back on that and see if I have indeed read those 22 books. It is certain that I have read 22 books because I've read a lot more than 22 books, but I'm not sure if I've read those ones. So I have my phone here. I'm gonna sit, maybe I'll do it like this. So I'll sit here, see if I can add a screen here so you can see the video. I think you can hear it from my phone as well. And let's just dive right into it. I am a bit scared, but let's do it.
Let's just get going. So for book number 1, this is one that I should have read during DESERTATHON this year, and that is Rain the Earth by A.C. Gowan.
Rain the Earth! So, wait, let's see, where is it? It's here. If I can grab it easily, I'll do that. Rain the Earth by A.C. Gowan. I have indeed read Rain the Earth, and I also read its sequel. So that is the first one check. I have a feeling it's not gonna keep going this well, but oh well. Moving on to book number 2. This is a bit of a weird one because I feel like this is not one I have actually ever talked about really, but this is just something that I've picked up a little bit ago and it speaks to me because of weird reasons, and that is The 10,000 Doors of January by... The 10,000 Doors of January is down here somewhere. Okay, The 10,000 Doors of January. I think I got to page 73 and gave up. I'm gonna put this on my list for this January again, see if I can actually finish it this time round, but I just feel like this should be read in January. If I don't, I will miss my window, if that makes sense. I think it's a portal fantasy too, so no, I did not read this one. Moving on to the next book. So book number 3 is a bit of a weird one because I've actually put that on my TBR for this month, and that's These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a Romeo and Juliet read. These Violent Delights. I think it is down there somewhere, but I have indeed read These Violent Delights. Though that is good. I read that one. I did enjoy it. Book number 4 is a sequel, and I have loved book 1, and I know I haven't read this one because it didn't get great reviews, and that one is Blood and Honey by Shelby Marin. Blood and Honey. I think I have Blood and Honey here. Blood and Honey by Shelby Marin. No, I've not read this. I don't even remember what the first one is about. I desperately have to pick this up, but I've heard, as I mentioned in the video as well, that it has severe second book syndrome, so I have not read this one yet. Let's move on to book number 4. Since I was like, oh, we're leaving 2020. So strange. But anyway, let's move on to book number 5. Let's continue on with another sequel, and this is City of Spells by Alexandra Christo. This is... City of Spells is up there. I have not read A City of Spells, and I do not want to talk about it. So we're quickly gonna move on to book number 6. As long as I can count, that's 5. Let's move on to book number 6. Book number 6 is another book on my pile of shame. I have so many shame books apparently. And that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine. The Bear and the Nightingale is literally to my right because I put it on my winter TBR. You've probably already seen that video. I have not yet read The Bear and the Nightingale. It is still my pile of shame. Oh, this is so confronting. I've not read that one either. Actually get the books, you don't read them, but they're there and you should read them. Well, that's this book. This book is And I Darken by Kirsten White. I have the entire trilogy. And I Darken is still sitting on my shelves, unread. Where is it? And I Darken. It has been sitting on my shelves unread, along with the second and the third book. No, I've not read it. I have no idea what it is about either, but I will read it at some point. Next up is another sequel, and that is The Heart Forger by Rin Chiapeko. I read The Bone Witch this year, and I read this because of the fact that it is Cheyenne's The Heart Forger. The Heart Forger has actually been sitting on my TBR cart ever since, and I think I read The Bone Witch in 2021, so last year. I've not yet read The Heart Forger. I did not even realize it was that long ago, but I haven't read it yet. It is still sitting on my TBR cart, so no. That said though, I think Cheyenne's gonna hate me, so I better read it quickly. Do you remember where I said that I have books that I just got and never read and just don't know what they're about? Same thing. Song of Wraiths and Ruins, I'm pretty sure the sequel has already been out as well. I think that sequel has already been out too. Song of Wraiths and Ruin is actually up there. I'm not gonna grab it because it's too high up. I've not yet read that one either. This is not going well for me. I have a total of 2 books that I've read from this list. No, I have not yet read Song of Wraiths and Ruin. Sorry, I will do it at some point. So next up we have These Divided Shores by Sarah Roche. This is the sequel to These Rebel Waves. I think I've read These Rebel Waves. I've not read it yet. I think I started the audiobook 3 or 4 times and I've just never continued it. I should, but I haven't, so I am happy that I did not make this These Books Will Self-Destruct in a Year video. I think I should probably do that at some point with books, but I'm just not ready to part with it yet. I've not read it. I feel like this was really the year where I found myself in contemporary romance, and I don't own a lot of those, so I've listened to a lot of audiobooks and read it through Scribd. Let's just continue on with the next book. Speaking of books I've had for absolute ages and just haven't touched yet, Heart of Thorns by Brie Barton. I'm pretty sure the entire trilogy is out at this point. I got this in a Fairy Loot box. Heart of Thorns. Do I need to repeat myself? I have no idea what this is about. Apparently Stephanie Garber liked it. I really should read this, but I haven't yet. I think I might put this on a These Books Will Self-Destruct in a Year video, because this is... Can you see that? There's dust on the top of it. That is how long... That is how long I have not touched it. Yeah, it's going back on the shelf. I have now also officially lost count on which book we are at, but let's just keep going. Speaking of books that have been on my shelves for the longest time, I feel like I have talked about book 1 in this series so often until I finally read it, and now we're on book 2, and Now we're on book 2. I have a feeling this is going to be the Fallen Kingdom series. If it is, the answer is still no. I've not read the second one. Still, I'm saying the same thing. And this is talking about the Fallen Kingdom series, and this is Rebel Spring. It is indeed Rebel Spring. I think Rebel Spring is... It is here. I'm not gonna grab it because it's, otherwise I'll knock over all types of things that are standing in front of it. I have not continued with the Fallen Kingdom series. Fun fact, I actually wrote an essay on that book, on the first one, Fallen Kingdoms. I have not continued. So, it's a pure damn shame. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna do that next year. I have all of the books in this series. I should probably just dedicate a month to just finishing all of them, or something along those lines, but I just haven't yet, so let's just move on to the next book. I've just realized this book is bent. What the heck happened to you? Can you see that? This poor book. Well, in any case, this is Star Daughter by Sveta Takar. I actually received this for Christmas last year, I think, and this was supposed to be... No! Star Daughter, Sveta Takar. I think it is standing right behind me. Is it still bent? It is still bent! But yeah, you can't really fix that. Star Daughter, Car. No, I've not read this one. This was supposed to be, I think I mentioned this in this video as well, it was supposed to be a buddy read with Jane about 2 years ago. I'll just send Jane a message, see if she wants to read it still, and maybe we can actually force read it then. But yeah, no, I have not read this one either. I think so far I've read a total of 2 books on this list. Oh, my battery is nearly dead. Let me change out the battery. The angle might change a bit and I'll be right back. Okay, the battery has been changed. Let's move on to the next book. Another book on my list that has been there for a long time. I'm pretty sure I won this in a giveaway at some point, and this is Crown of Oblivion by Julie Eschbaugh. This has been on my TBR more times than I care to admit. It's also slightly dusty. Sorry about that, bud. I have indeed not read this either. I haven't put it on my TBR since, so that is a plus. I think I've put this on my TBR so often, I got sick of it, which is saying something. It matches my lipstick though. No, I haven't read it. I will read it at some point. I still think it's intriguing. I think it's about a woman who goes into some type of run, like a trial run, a race. And if she wins, she'll probably, I think she would be, what's it called, rich and, you know, settled for the rest of her life. I will read this at some point. Okay guys, we're going into the thick of things. Into the thick of it. We have a couple of books left, so let's move on with one that I feel like is very outside of my own usual comfort zone. You know that I read a lot of fantasy, and I've lately been reading a lot of contemporary romance, which is not on this list because I don't need to push myself to read those. And that is The Whisper Man by Alex North. The Whisper Man by Alex North. I have not read this one either. I had been meaning to read this during the Halloween season, so around October, but considering I was in a slump back then and I was happy to be reading it all, I didn't pick it up. And I think I won't pick it up until next year, October either. It's just one of those books that I think will do best during spooky season, so this will probably sit on my shelf a bit longer. Unless I'm really in the mood for it around the summer time, but no, have not read this either. This is very confronting for me, but let's just continue. I think more for your fun than mine. So next up is another Fairy Loot book, actually, non-surprisingly, and that is Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. I've also put this on my TBR. Onyx and Ivory. I actually don't know where Onyx and Ivory is. I think I still own it somewhere. It might be in my TBR cards, but I can't find it. I have not read it. I mean, that's what TBR card suggests. I have quite a few, I think, Illumicrate and Fairy Loot books that I've received, not personally picked out, that I haven't read yet. And I personally don't have a subscription to anything anymore, which I think is good, because now I buy books that I feel like I will intentionally, like, truly read. But yeah, I haven't read it. Alright, so the next one is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. The second one, King of Scars, it's actually sitting right outside of the screen. King of Scars I have not read. Fun fact, it is actually going on my 12 books from friends list this year. I think I'll make a video of that as well. Maybe the end of December once I have all 12 of the picks, or in January, I'm not sure yet. But no, I have not read King of Scars. I hope that I can bunny read this maybe with Charlotte, who has suggested it to me. I don't think she read it either, so yeah. Speaking of blood magic, we weren't speaking of blood magic, but I do love a book with blood magic, and so I really want to read Blood Heir by Emily Wen Zhao, I think. Blood Heir by Emily Wen Zhao. That is also on my TBR cart, because I really want to read it, but I have not. I feel like this was not the year where I read a lot of fantasy, apparently. I'm so sorry about that, but I'm not, because I did have a fun reading year, but still, not a lot of books on this list were read, sadly. But the next book is actually one that I have talked about quite a bit already, and I haven't yet because I'm scared of the ending and I'm scared it will hurt me, and that is... yeah. I'll end the clip so you can see it too. Lightbringer. I don't think I have to say too much about this. I have both a review for Furyborn and Kingsbane up on this channel. Lightbringer. Lightbringer is the third book in the Furyborn trilogy, and I have not yet read Lightbringer. I think I want to reread Furyborn and Kingsbane before I go into Lightbringer, but I still stand by what I said. I'm scared of that book, apparently so scared that I haven't read it for years, so I will probably just push myself, maybe listen to the audiobook of it. I know there's an audiobook, but no, I have not yet read Lightbringer. Alright, then another one which is not as intimidating, just something that I've had on my shelf and I do really want to get to, and that is What? Walk on Earth, a Stranger by Ray Carson. Walk on Earth, a Stranger. I think it's still sitting on my shelf somewhere along this area because it's gold in the spine, but I have not yet read Walk on Earth, a Stranger either. I can't pronounce that name apparently. Walk on Earth, a Stranger. I've not yet finished it, but I am planning to get to it at some point. Okay, so the second to last book is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book in the A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I'm staring at it currently. It is sitting in my TBR cart because I'm planning on picking that up very, very soon. But alas, I have not done it yet. Mental. But nope, have not read it. Okay, let's move on to the final book of the video. I'm scared. So far, it's a total of 2 books that I've read, I think. 2 or 3, which is not good. But let's just get to the final book and end my suffering. Thus to the very final book on this list. I feel like this one is the most popular one on the list, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Everything I know about this book can be summed up into... And the final book, From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This beast has not been read either. I still think it's a popular book. It has died down a bit, but I still really want to read it. I have the first 3, I think, and I just want to get to it, but I haven't yet. It is a brick though. It's like very, very heavy, so no. I've seen quite a couple of people do this, and I've not seen people feel as badly as I have. I am going to go back on what I said last year, because last year I actually said this is going to be the best or the worst idea I've ever had. And I think I'm going to stand with it was the worst idea I've had in a long time. Was it fun and entertaining to watch back that video, see myself a year later and see myself sort of compared? Maybe? But it's very confronting. I think I really stepped off the fantasy ladder and I've stepped on a couple of different ones, like contemporary romance. I've stepped on quite a bit of mystery this year. The smut has also been read, and I feel like I've changed a bit in my reading, because I think up to 2020 I almost only read fantasy, and that was young adult fantasy, and now I've broadened my scope. I'm reading a lot more different genres, contemporary. I am also reading a lot of fiction, in the sense of everything's fiction, Esmay. I wanted to say murder mystery, thrillers. I've read horror this year. The amount of genres I've read is just a lot more this year, so that is good. I think at least I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for that. I'm nearly at 100 books, so I'm not unhappy with what I read, but I do think that I could have done a bit better on this list. Then again, there's room for improvement, because if I only read 3 off the new list I'm going to create, because I am still going to do a 23 books I want to read in 23, because I'm stupid like this, then that's an improvement. So I hope you have still enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and press that little bell icon so you get post notifications every single time that we post, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!